Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the View Screen Podcast, a podcast where we introduce sci-fi shows to a fantasy nerd. I'm Viztee.
And I'm Overlite.
And this week we're watching David Tennant's first episode of Doctor Who, A Christmas Invasion. This week is a special episode of View Screen where we're doing View Screen Live, and we have an entire group of people who are watching, and so we're going to include them in the chaos that is our normal recording, and we're going to take their questions and their comments and just sort of absorb them into our normal rambling. Smiley face. Well, what did we watch this week?
Watched Doctor Who.
But which Doctor Who?
The second one.
Wait, the second. What does that mean? There's thousands of Doctor Who.
We watched, and
yeah.
Tennant.
Yeah, Tennant. Doctor
He's such a young baby. In the it's what's it called? The Attack at Christmas or something. That's what the episode's called.
What was the episode? Was it literally just called The Attack at Christmas?
I've already forgotten.
I don't remember. I don't think I looked at any of the episode names.
The Christmas Invasion.
The Christmas Invasion. Yes, a classic. Because
he's such a baby boy there. Oh my god.
I know. He's a young lad. Before he went on to play very evil Jessica Jones characters and stuff.
That's what he's... I mean, is he known for anything else?
What, David Tennant?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like...
Everybody just loves him in Doctor Who, right?
Yeah.
Surely.
It's interesting.
It's the British way.
Yeah, also, I was thinking, and I feel like in the episode titles... Well, I don't even know. We need like an Overlite rating. Because basically what happens is I come in and either I roast the ever-loving shit out of whatever we watched, or I'm like constantly singing its praises. And it's very rare that we have a middle ground. I swing really hard one of those two directions.
That does seem to be the case, yeah.
And I think I feel like we should warn people, because it really changes the tone of the episode.
Overlite rage incoming!
This is your official...
This is an Overlite salt warning.
Official Overlite designation.
This episode contains oversalt. Copious levels of oversalt.
Actually,
I don't know if this one will.
No.
This is Doctor Who. It's a classic staple of British television. I say Viztee television. This is not my television. British television, it's...
I get so nostalgic.
It's very nostalgic. We watched the classic Christopher Eccleston one the other week.
That one was so much fun.
It was a time capsule.
Oh, it really is. And this one was also kind of a time capsule.
Yeah, this one, it was less of a time capsule because...
Yeah, it felt closer to modern, weirdly. It's weird, in the space of one season, they got way... Like the Eccleston one? Damn, that's a different world. But this one was like a lot less alien looking. Maybe I was just used to it. I don't know.
Wait, this one's less alien looking than the Eccleston one?
Well, like the setting and like Eccleston is like 2004 Britain or something.
Yeah,
and then Tennant is like...
Presumably it was recorded in like 2004 because it came out in 2005.
Yeah.
The Tennant one must have come in... Wait, do we think that was like 2007 until 2008? I didn't actually check when that episode came out.
Christmas episode was released... never mind. It was broadcast in 2005 on December. So it was like the same year. Same year.
Jesus Christ.
The world had drastically changed.
Well, I mean, I think there was just not as many things like big giveaways in that because, like I was saying, I kind of watched it with a couple of people earlier on when I watched the episode, and I think that it was harder to pinpoint because people weren't really wearing any outfits that you saw. Like, it wasn't really focused on people's clothing as much. Like, generally, most of the characters that were in scenes were kind of in their pajamas or in dressing gowns.
I think it's...
And the people that you really focused on in scenes were wearing suits, and they were wearing military suits, and the Doctor was like in a dressing gown, and Rose was just like in a fucking denim jacket or whatever. So like they're very like timeless. And then the like one car that we see, like I think in the Christopher Eccleston ones, we see a lot of cars in the background as they're walking around London, inverted commas, Wales. And a lot of those cars are very, very 2005 cars, or like even earlier, like 90s cars and stuff like that, like parked up. Whereas that in that episode we see like Harriet Jones getting out, or like some other people getting out of a Range Rover, like a sort of newer looking Range Rover. And Range Rovers generally keep the sort of same body shape. Like, even though you could tell it was an older one, they still look pretty modern. Like, they're pretty timeless. And it was definitely a newer model one for the time. So
I think a part of it is also because like they don't have to set the scene as hard, because this is episode 1 of season 2.
Yeah.
Or episode 14 of season 1. I'm not really sure. There's like some kind of weird...
Yeah, it's like a sort of weird like special extra episode of...
Yeah, but like the Eccleston...
Not really being in either season, really, I guess.
The Eccleston introduction was so like... She's a working class girl, working in the shops, trying to get by, trying to make money.
Gosh, I got to go out with my boyfriend tonight, but he's a bit of a prick and he just wants to watch the football.
Fucking Mickey. Taking the Mick. Mickey is so whipped. Oh my god. Mickey is the saddest. Oh, poor Mickey.
She goes back
Mickey.
after, like, I mean, we kind of skipped over a bunch of episodes coming back to the Christmas episode, but, like, she, like, disappears for, like, fucking months, comes back, and Mickey's like, it's been, like, a year or something, and the Doctor's like, whoopsie, fucked up the timeline.
Yeah.
Got the time wrong, and there's, like, missing posters for the Rose, and they're like, oh my god, we've been worried about you, you've been missing for a year. And the Doctor's like, whoops, oh well, and Rose, and they're like freaking out, and Rose is like, oh well, I went on some cool adventures in it, and it's just like, and Mickey's just like super pissed off about it all.
Yeah, the Doctor's like a bit bedridden for a bit, and Mickey's like
in this episode,
and Mickey's like,
because the Doctor's regenerated from Christopher Eccleston's Doctor into David Tennant's Doctor, and he's like still going through the regeneration. So he's like, he's just feeling a little bit sick. He's in bed. He can't really do anything.
And Mickey takes Rose on like a date or something, and he's like, "Oh, I'll call it my Christmas treat." And they're out in like a market, and they're looking at clothes, and then she's just like, I wonder if he's gonna be all right. And Mickey's like, please, you've got to stop thinking about the Doctor for 1 second. Just enjoy Christmas. He's like begging her.
Yeah, he's like,
begging.
Please,
so he's like,
stop
please,
talking about the TARDIS and time and space and all these adventures you've been on, and just talk about Christmas shopping with your boyfriend, for fuck's sake.
I'm just like, Mickey, you're so fucked, mate. You poor sweet Mickey is.
And then later on in the episode, she's like staring at him like, oh god, I hope he's all right. And he like looks at her and he goes, you really love him, don't you? And then
she doesn't say anything. She just leans into Mickey.
She just leans into Mickey. And it's like, yeah, Mickey's done. He's done.
He's so fucking roasted. It's beautiful.
Oh no. Oh, poor Mickey.
It's very entertaining to watch.
Gosh.
Should we talk about the plot or something? I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot. Is there a lot to say? This is throughout this episode. I'm just so like. It's like you know how people have like fantasies, right? About what the life they could lead. About like, oh, what if I
Sure.
was a superstar? What if I was like, you know,
Yeah.
or what if I wish I could be like a incredible, you know, this is what I want to be, or I wish I could be out there doing whatever. I feel like Doctor Who is like the the like British stereotypical patriotic British person fantasizes about like tea
What if I met an alien?
saving
Oh.
the world
Oh, right.
and like
Oh,
like
sorry.
defeating
She's saving
aliens.
the world. Yeah.
Like, because this is
I mean,
literally what
it's
happens in the
very-
episode.
It's stereotypically the most British thing, you know. Tea has to save the universe.
It's so fun. Like this episode, I felt it so hard. Where just like so many things that happened were like the British Prime Minister is speaking for the world as aliens have come to invade and have mind controlled 1/3. It's like the British pride is our international or some kind
there
of
are so many
science
great
division.
moments. I think it's just there's so many funny moments though, because it's like, well, as you talk about like the plot is, so aliens mind control a third of the human population.
Do you want me to do the plot summary?
Yeah, should we do the whole
Sort
plot
of.
summary?
Do the
Like, talk
whole
about the
plot
funny
summary.
moments. Yeah.
So in this, all right, the Doctor has regenerated. He's still regenerating. He's fucking conked out. Rip. Mickey and Rose. Rose comes home. Mickey and Jackie. Mickey's Rose's boyfriend. Jackie's Rose's mum.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh my god, we're so worried about you. Mickey takes Rose out on a date. In the meantime, aliens. Nope, not aliens yet. We're not yet. The UK has sent a probe to Mars.
Yeah, to Mars. Yeah.
There's some references in there
I got
about
that very quickly.
fine British workmanship. Something that I don't actually think existed when this was recorded, but we'll
mean?
ignore that part.
What? I can't believe this. That was, pre-Brexit. We
They
could send probes to
literally
Mars.
make a point of calling it fine British workmanship. It's very funny. But they've sent a probe to Mars. Anyway, Rose and Mickey out on a date, looking at Christmas things. Rose is thinking about the Doctor. Mickey's like, please, babe, give me a chance, babe. I can be just as interesting. I swear.
I could take you on weird space adventures and meet the face of Bo and fight Daleks, please.
Down to the pub, we watch them.
Down to the pub to watch the football.
So, like,
There's no Women's World Cup right now, though, because it's still very sexist, because we're in
Very
2005.
true. But they get tacked by. Oh, this is another staple of Doctor Who is
Yeah.
like novelty items coming to life and attacking you.
No, it's before that. They get attacked by, like, some...
Well, it's practically there's a brass band. It's a bunch of people dressed up
Dressed
in
as
Santa.
Santa,
and the brass band that's playing starts shooting at them and shooting fire. Like one of the trumpets is a flamethrower. Sorry, they shoot at them with their instruments. So they're like doing their horns and like explosions and rockets are happening and there's like fire everywhere. And it's like, oh, another classic staple of Doctor Who is just literally this like everyone just
Do you not keep a shotgun in your trumpet?
it's just a show. It's a show that's written by it's like every single episode that you watch, at least in these early phases, is just the writers have gone, okay, what really mundane and boring thing do British people deal with in their day-to-day, and what would they like fantasize, like what weird object would British people fantasize coming to life and like bringing some color to their boring ass life. And it's like,
I mean, it's true. It's like
the
it's
Christmas
like,
brass band at the market is trying to kill you now.
God,
One of them shoots
that
an
is
RPG
true.
out of their horn. It's beautiful.
I don't think they do that as much anymore, and I think maybe that's why it's lost some of the magic.
Yeah, because it's weirdly higher budget. It's not as low budget. The low budgetness really adds to it in the early seasons.
Yeah, they don't come up with these like. It's not like it's not these weird like people sat at home going, Oh, do you know what? What if everybody who sat at working from home on Microsoft Teams suddenly
They
got
did do an episode,
sucked
didn't they?
into...
Didn't they do like
they?
a Zoom episode or something? I could have
Did
sworn.
they?
Or was that a horror movie?
Everybody gets sucked into all of their weeping angels use Zoom to try and steal everybody's soul or something.
Yeah, I googled Doctor Who Zoom episode and it doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't exist. You've
very
made it
sad.
up. But you should
Maybe there
pitch
was like
it.
a Skype episode. I'm
No, I
really
don't-
surprised
I
they
don't
don't
think it
actually they didn't actually do like a pandemic.
Did you know, apparently, just as a completely massive aside, apparently Zoom the CEO is ordering all of their workers to return to the office and they can no longer work from home over Zoom.
Oh, incredible.
It's ironic.
Incredible. All right. I love those kinds of... We get those ironies sometimes.
But-
Anyway, Doctor Who. What's happening? They get attacked by Christmas men,
Yeah.
which are actually like robots or something. I don't know. They're like, oh no. Whereas like, oh, the Doctor. They're here for the Doctor. Why would they be attacking us? Because they know we're linked to the Doctor. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
And-
my bloody hell.
Yeah,
Mickey,
and then
you've
she
spent
runs...
so much time with the Doctor. Yeah, it must be here for you too.
True, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They're here for me, us, yeah, us, Mickey, us, yeah.
So she runs back to her mum's flat, where the Doctor is just in bed. And they're like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? Oh, I don't know. And then Jackie comes in, and then Rose is like, the tree. Jackie's like, yeah, the tree. Oh, yeah, it's a lovely tree. And Rose's like, oh, it's new. She's like, oh, what do you mean? I thought you bought it. You went out, and suddenly the tree was there. I thought that was you. Rose is like, no, wasn't me. Oh, we've got to go. And they start like running away from...
oh, there's a suspiciously new tree in the house.
Yeah, where
I
did
didn't
that
buy
come
it,
from?
you didn't buy it, and
Who
somebody's
bought
just
it?
tried to kill us.
Tree
and then
starts
the tree comes to life
spinning.
and starts spinning
It's a
around.
fucking blender.
And it's
Tree-
a fucking, it's like, yeah, it's trying to tear everybody apart.
And I'm once again required to
gosh.
point out how hard the show leans into that classic fantasy, that truly
What
British.
What if the Christmas tree came to life, started spinning around really fast, tore all the furniture apart, trying to kill you?
It's so...
And it's like, what would you do? And it's like, oh, I'd get a chair and I'd try and push it away, buy you some time. And then that's
truly
what
incredible.
Mickey tries.
yeah. And it just blends the chair because it's blending so fast.
Yeah.
So they run away. They run into the room the Doctor's hiding in, and they put a bookshelf over it or something, and they like block it off. They're like, "Oh God, what do we do? Oh, what do we do? What do we do?" And then the Rose whispers into the Doctor's ear. She's like, "Help me!" in a kind of weird and creepy way. It's kind of weird and creepy how she does it.
She said like, Doctor, wake up, we need your help, and he just doesn't. He's still asleep. And then she walks up and she whispers creepily into his ear, and then
She's gonna be sexy about it.
Yeah.
And then the tree's like busted into the room. It's about to blend them to pieces, and the Doctor like sits up, pulls out his screwdriver, points it at the tree, and the tree just explodes. Like straight up just explodes.
What
It
if the
explodes
tree
and it's just
exploded
gone.
and baubles went everywhere? That'd be fun.
I don't even think there's debris. It just fucking like explodes into thin air.
Well, because it was a CGI Christmas tree. Where was the debris gonna come from?
In real life.
Yeah.
It was a real life CGI Christmas tree.
Yeah, well, honestly, where is the debris gonna come from, Overlite? That would have required like effects budget. We're not gonna take that.
Right. What, like an actual like team on the ground?
It'd have to have like thrown bits of torn up Christmas tree and baubles and blown it into the room.
These actors are just here with whatever clothes they walked in wearing.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
we got Jackie also shouting, "I'm gonna get killed by a Christmas tree," which is pretty fun.
It's beautiful.
It was pretty beautiful. I
mean,
mean, there's
it's
lots of really funny lines in
the show is just so like it's hard to be critical.
It's just like it's so like it's just really
It's
funny.
so stupid.
It's so like yeah, but it's so like it's so
such a
silly.
stupid show that it's hard to be critical. Like you can see, like they're trying and they've made it like good in a stupid way because they're like, it's just really fucking stupid, and it makes it really easy to enjoy because it's just like, what if a Christmas tree came to life and tried to kill you? What if brass band came to life and tried to kill you? What if we sent a we'll get to the other plot points later that continue. There's some real fucking corkers later, I'm telling you this now. Anyway, the doctor goes outside. The doctor goes outside for some reason. And they have like a long ass conversation. He's like, oh, I need something. Jackie.
Yes.
Shout out to
Jackie
whoever plays Jackie. She does this like incredible like, oh, what do you need? Do you need aspirin, oxytocin, penicillin, antibiotics? Do you need? And she like lists off like 200 items without batting an eyelid, and I'm sat there like, honestly, I'm not even like the show itself. I don't care right now. Whoever's playing Jackie in this moment is just doing a really good job of rattling off a laundry list of items. And for this brief moment,
playing the telephone game.
Yeah.
Everything.
I'm not watching Doctor Who. I'm just watching this person in real life just be really good at reciting a list. Anyway, Doctor fucking passes out again. They talk a lot. I honestly don't know if they said anything important.
I'm trying to remember anything that happened during that part.
Honestly, the stuff they say now, I think, isn't even... It's set up for, like, later episodes, I think. Because the Christmas tree thing and the brass band people, they actually just fuck off and don't really come back. And they're not actually relevant to the rest of the episode, I think.
And they're here for me because of my residual energies. And then a bigger fish is coming, and then he passes out. And then...
I don't think the bigger fish is actually this episode. Is it? They don't really refer to it later on. They're just like, oh, bigger fish is coming.
Like, it may. I don't know if it's like. I don't know if it is or if it isn't. But then, a big evil thing does show up in this episode. So it's just like, even if it wasn't, something bad does show up. So it's like, conveniently. So, like, the Sycorax show up in this episode as the baddie, and whether they were the ones who...
They're a new baddie. They're not a... Are they a new baddie? Did they just make up in a race? It feels like they just made up...
I think they're new.
Yeah, they just made up they got some skulls, put it on some people, painted their eyes red.
There's always a bigger fish.
But... after that scene, there's like a 10-minute lull in the episode. I got a bit bored.
I'm honestly trying to remember what happened.
Basically, this episode is the first time.
Isn't there a load of hilarious parts where and there's like a load of stuff with like Harriet Jones and the Sycorax show up.
I'll get to that.
Oh,
this episode really makes a big deal about
I'm gonna open it episode up and scroll through it so I can try and remember what happens.
I mean, there is like a 5 to 10 minute lull where I did get a bit bored and I was like, oh, it feels like nothing's happening. But this episode they really like ham up because it's the first of because it's the new Doctor Who. Oh my gosh. And it's the first time he's regenerated. The Doctor's regenerated. And they really like milk the like regeneration anxiety. They're like, what if he doesn't come back? Oh, he's gone and we're helpless without him. Oh, we need him. Oh, but he's not here. He's gone. He's gone. He's different and he's not waking up and we're helpless. Like they're really fucking lean into it. Real hard. They spend he doesn't come back for like another half an hour. So there's like a 5-10 minute sequence of like people sitting, being anxious, and just being like, "Oh no, what do we do that Doctor? Oh my god!" And then we're following back at the government with a very nervous man for some reason. The person who's like the speaker for the space initiative is just like a super fucking nervous guy, and he's also a government official, and I'm like, how is this dude a government official?
He's just nervous all the time, even before any aliens show up. He's just a nervous lad. He's just got a lot on his plate, you know. Everybody's putting a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He's got to launch a probe towards Mars.
I know, it's just so like he's just I don't know why he's in this position. And it's also entertaining seeing the show treat the politicians like they have any integrity. That's quite fun.
Well, my favorite thing is throughout, because a classic ongoing joke sort of in the earlier episode with Harriet Jones in is she goes, Harriet Jones, MP, Flydale North, and people are like, oh yes, we know who you are, and stuff like that. And then in this episode, Harriet Jones is the Prime Minister, and so of course everybody knows who she is because she's the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And so, but she still introduces herself. So she's like, Harriet Jones, Prime Minister. And they're like, it's like the people who are like her advisors, they're like, yes, I know who you are. And so the nervous like guy who's fired the rocket, he's like, yeah, I know who you are. And then like some aliens show up, and she goes to meet an army guy, and she's like, Harriet Jones, Prime Minister. And he's like, yes, ma'am, I know who you are. And then she goes over to meet somebody else. She's like, Harriet Jones, Prime Minister. And they're like, yes, I know who you are. It's my favorite thing throughout the whole episode. It's just her telling everybody who she is. It's my favorite on-running joke.
I actually didn't catch on to this.
Did you not?
No.
What do you mean?
I haven't watched all the episodes between Eccleston, episode 1 and
it just it happens like 5 times in this episode.
I didn't notice.
Oh my gosh. Even like, okay, so it also she goes to the Sycorax. She goes, Harriet Jones, like the aliens, the bad guys show up, and she goes on to them face to face. She goes, Harriet Jones, Prime Minister, and they go, I know who you are.
I caught that bit. I remember that bit. I was just like, oh yeah, of course they do, because they've been following. Nope, it's the. I didn't realize.
Because everybody knows who she is.
I didn't know. So they do this like montage, being really anxious, and I think my favorite. So it's like building like scenes. And they're like, the probe, the probe, it's made it to Mars, and they're like, is it true that you completely lost contact with it at some point? And it's like, yes, it's true, but don't worry, everything's smooth. You're on the way. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm a nervous man, and I've got to go now. And then they're like, it's time for the first video few scenes that we've gotten from the probe, and it's the aliens, it's the Sycorax, and they're speaking some crazy alien shit, and it's like then it does like a news montage of like, oh my god, aliens are real, but the first one in the sequence is the face of an alien life form was transmitted live on BBC One. I'm just like, okay, BBC, toot your own horn then, do you?
For the first time in human history,
the BBC has discovered alien life
exists within the universe, and it's like, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, and then we get montages and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think at some point Harriet Jones is is like talking to the military person, and I think at some point she's like, can we get Torchwood? And she's like, can we get Torchwood? I know, I'm not supposed to know who they are. Even the United Nations don't know about them. There's an act of parliament banning my autobiography. Like,
no, that was a separate thing. That was for it was the shy rocket guy was like he was like, oh my gosh, the aliens. You like met Harriet Jones. Oh my god, she's like, oh my god, are the aliens? And then she's like, oh yeah, here, meet my aide. He's come up with a cover story about the aliens. They were saying that it's a hoax. Don't worry. We're covering it up. And he's like, oh gosh, there's no chance that it could be a hoax, could there? And she's like, oh no, oh god, I wish it were a hoax. But something about, oh gosh, she said, I can't remember how she says it. Like, but she implies that there are more than like there are, like, it's not the first alien encounter. Like there's many aliens or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's more. That you've met. This isn't the first thing of aliens they've seen. And then she's like, oh, I wish there's an act of parliament banning my autobiography like that. And she's just like, ha ha ha, la la la, because she's like seen aliens and shit and done lots of stuff. And she's like, boo, Harriet Jonesing around, la la la, like that. And he's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I mean, that I've lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
That was a long
train of thought here.
So that's a really long rant, and I was trying to also remember what was. And you know what happened? I read a message in chat, and I immediately started thinking about something else. Which is why I have mostly had chat closed.
No, chat. She's being mean to you.
Wow.
I've been reading you the whole time, chat.
I'm amazed, Drew, you're still able to talk. I get so distracted.
I'm medicated now.
True! Oh my god, true! No! Okay, well, both of us have been medically diagnosed with ADHD, but one of us has taken meds. Alright, I'll just sit here and suffer then, don't worry.
Yeah.
It's fine. Oh, there was some digs at America. I think at some point someone comes over and is like, Mr. Prime Minister, the president is on the phone. He wants control of the situation. And she's like, no, tell him to fuck off, basically. I won't have America starting a war. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, nice dig, I guess.
True.
We've never started any wars or caused any kinds of problems. No, we're very, yeah. Those damn gun kisses. Like,
exactly.
Okay, 2005 Doctor Who. Sure. Yeah, it gets a bit slow after that. I'm reading my notes. Okay, and then there's like, they translate the aliens, and the message from the aliens is like, surrender your world or we'll kill them.
Yeah, we'll kill that. They will die.
Or they will die.
And they're like, what do you mean they will die? Is that not a mistranslation? And then they go, no, it's definitely the right personal pronoun. And I was like, yes, pop off 2005 BBC. That's right, they is a personal pronoun. That's correct. Very on point 2005 BBC.
I mean, 2005 would have been before before it became political, honestly.
I know, yeah. So, listen, none of this bullshit about people being real fucking dumb about the English language.
Yeah. I mean, we know they're... I think they know they're wrong. It's not bad. Anyway.
I know. I was just like, yep.
I know. I could go on like a 5-10 minute rant probably, but
we don't need it. We know exactly. We know we're right.
We don't really. Anyway, so they translate it and they send a message back that's like, we're planet of peace. Also, we are armed and ready to defend ourselves. And then
it's Christmas. Fuck off. Basically.
And then the aliens are like, suck on these nuts, and they activate a machine, and then people they do some kind of weird like blue hand wavy magic, and suddenly there's like blue light, the same blue light is appearing around a bunch of people's heads, and they all start walking away, and everyone's like, oh, where are they going? And all across the country They're walking out of their houses and walking somewhere, and they're like, oh, where are they going? Where are they going? It's like, oh, they're headed for the stairs? Why are they headed for the stairs? Oh my gosh. Oh, they're all going up. Oh, why are they going up? Oh, yes, they're going as high as they can. They're all headed to the roof, madam. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is terrible. It's like, yes, we hear reports all over the country. Oh my goodness. And we get like a shot of like a couple places. And then it's like, it's not just the country, it's the whole world. And we get a shot of the Eiffel Tower, with people standing in building. People standing on the Colosseum.
On the Colosseum.
In
I don't know how
Rome.
they climbed up there, but they managed.
The Colosseum. They're just standing on there. And I'm like, how the fuck?
They Assassin's Creed parkoured their way up. Okay? They pulled out their Ezio hoods, and they were like,
how did they...
up the top.
It's true, and also the landmark we get for England is just a castle, which I was like, okay, sure, yeah. There's like 100 people climbing to the roof of some castles, sure. And it turns out
when they get off the Colosseum, they jump like and do a flip in the air, and there's like an eagle cry, and they land in a pile of hay.
So it turns out they're all A+. We find out that they're all A+. And the blood on they sent blood on that probe to Mars. It was like there's got a plaque with all the like records of human life and stuff, and there was A+ blood. And they used that to mind control all these people. Which is, you know, always a bit of entertaining. Pseudoscience blood is far more complicated than that. Pretty much all biology is. So I don't even know if you call it A+ now. There's like 1,000 categories that you can fit blood into or something. It's very complicated. Anyway, they're all panicking. Everyone's panicking because a third of the population, which is apparently a third of the population is A+, they're all standing at the edges of roofs, ready to jump. They're like, oh God, what do we do? And Harriet Jones is like, I'm going to do the only thing I can do. She goes and she gives a Prime Minister's address on Christmas morning. She's like, I'm sorry, the Prime Minister, this is the Prime Minister's address. We can't get the Queen.
We can't give the Queen speech.
What are they doing?
Did
what
we
are the
check
royals?
on the Queen?
Oh, the royals. They're all on the roof.
Yes.
Which I thought was kind of like a funny incest joke that they were all A+, because they were all like, They were all like so inbred that they all ended up being A+. And so the entire royal family was on the roof is how I read that.
I don't know if that's what the BBC would have gone for.
No, definitely not. But I thought it was.
That's one way to interpret it. I think, yeah.
I was very entertained, and then she's like, "Oh, please, doctor! Oh, we need your help! Oh my gosh!" And then
she on the television. She
live on
for
TV.
the doctor's help. Yeah. We
need the doctor. We need you, doctor. Live broadcast to
and everybody's like, what? What's a doctor?
No one. There's actually zero scenes of that. It's literally just her, and it cuts to Rose, being like distraught.
Rose is like, oh, the doctor's fucking dead, and we're all on our own, and we're all gonna die.
Just her being like crying, just Billie Piper giving the performance of a lifetime, music like swelling, like, oh, it's such a bad situation. Oh, this is terrible. This is so bad, and it's like it's just Billie Piper being really upset, basically. Yeah, and then they're like, oh, we gotta run. We gotta run away. We gotta hide, and they take the doctor to the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And can't remember how, but at some point, Prime Minister gets and her team gets teleported onto the alien ship.
Boinged.
The alien ship also has made it to Earth at this point, it's hovering over the planet, and the Prime Minister gets boinged in, and they have some conversation. It's honestly not. There's some jokes in there. There's a lot of talking.
They try to negotiate, and
the aliens fucking kill him.
The shy spaceman dies. The military guy dies. Harriet Jones makes a joke about her name. It's not going super well.
Good time all around.
The TARDIS gets beamed up because they they accidentally activate it or something, and it gets noticed.
Yeah, TARDIS gets beamed up, and then Rose and Mickey on the TARDIS are like...
They're like, bloody hell, Jackie went to go and get some more supplies and she's been a while. Let's go and see where she is. And they open a door and go outside, and they're on the alien fucking spaceship.
Rose gets grabbed. Mickey's like, oh no! And he drops everything, he runs out to try and help her, but I mean, they're on an alien spaceship, and Rose is like, oh, the door, Mickey, the door, and Mickey closes the door just in time. So Rose and Mickey, they're on the spaceship too. The Doctor, he's just flat out on his back, passed out in the TARDIS. But there's a flask that Mickey's dropped, and it's on its side next to the Doctor, and it's dripping.
Lovely flask.
It's dripping fluid.
Yeah, everybody, they're all dying. The Sycorax, they've got people
Sycorax are electro-whipping people.
They've got the Prime Minister. They've got Rose, they've got Mickey. It looks like shit's real bad.
Yeah. And in the negotiations, the Prime Minister's...
all that's left.
In the negotiation...
Okay, on.
We're not there. In the negotiation, the Prime Minister's like, oh, what'll happen if we surrender? And the alien's like, half will be sold into slavery. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, only half. See,
only half.
That's like
33% to die, or half in slavery. And the Rose
33% die seems like the better deal, actually.
Yeah, it kind of does. Rose turns up and throws a bunch of like buzzwords at them. She's like, Shadow Proclamation Daleks, Slitheen, the Gal Authority. That's right. Fuck off. And they laugh at her because they know that she's talking bullshit. And the guy's like,
she tried to bullshit her way through.
Blah blah blah. He keeps like talking, and he's like speaking his like Kungy bungy, silly little English girl. And they're like, silly little English girl? You speak English? No, I do not speak English. And they're all like, no, you're definitely speaking English right now. And he's like, how dare you? I speak proud Sycorax. And they're like, I was being translated. But that means the translator on the TARDIS has started working again. And that means the Doctor's awake, and the TARDIS doors fly open to reveal David Tennant in his PJs and a dressing gown. And he's like, he's just a posh British. He just starts talking in a posh British accent. Can't remember what he says. He's just like,
it's me!
What's going on here, then?
Core blimey.
Core blimey. This is an awful lot of trouble you seem to have gotten yourselves into. And the aliens are like, who is this strange thing? He's like, oh, how about you stop talking? I'm busy. And then he starts doing funny Doctor... There's sort of like an obligation every time the Doctor regenerates that he basically acts like a clown for like half an episode. He needs time to get the energy out. New Doctor, they're very excited. They're gonna get all that energy out. It's a prestigious position. Enshrined in the halls of British traditional history. So he's just hyper for a bit. He's got to get it out. I'm saying this because I kind of cringed. I kind of cringed at the when he's like, how do I look? I'm not ginger, am I?
What do you mean? He just really wants to be ginger, okay?
Yeah. But basically,
still not been ginger.
The next 5 minutes, it's kind of just David Tennant being really entertaining.
Yeah. He hasn't done anything for the whole episode. He's been asleep.
Yeah, and then he steps in, and it turns out he's just he's just an entertaining man to watch talk. It's almost as if he does lots of stage acting or something. But no idea about that. I wouldn't know. But yeah, David Tennant's Doctor shows up. He's here, and he's just talking, and it's cool. And that's he just keeps talking, and and he's like, ooh, and he's like messing around with things. Like, ooh, I'm the Doctor and I'm talking. And, ooh, what are you going to do? I'm talking. And then he pushes the big red button that makes everyone jump off the building, except they don't jump.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, a big red button. And I don't know what kind of man I am, but if I see a big red button, and then he's like, bam! And they're all like, everybody's like, no! Because they think he's just killed 33% of the human race.
Yeah, turns out,
and then,
blood magic. It's all heebie-jeebies.
Can't make people kill themselves.
No, gets overwritten by survival instincts. So, you know, it was a bluff. Good thing they didn't surrender. Doctor's like, I challenge you to single combat. And the guy's like, okay. And then they both get two-handed swords. Yep. And they have a sword fight.
That's right.
On the alien spaceship.
Why not?
And it's at this point that I'd like to point out that the world was in peril, and the British Prime Minister boarded the alien ship and genuinely dropped the line.
Have a sword fight.
I'm proud to be representing the human race, and I'm like, okay, BBC, sure, the Great British Society is apparently the ones to do it. Sure, yeah, why not? It's that moment of like, this is not how it would happen, and it's so detached from reality. But I imagine all the Brits watching are just like, oh, I love the United Kingdom. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so delicious. Oh my goodness. And then, you know, the man with a British accent in British pajamas and a dressing gown has a sword fight with the space alien. And, you know, he kind of gets his ass whooped, and he gets his arm chopped off, and his hand flies off the ship, because they go outside on the roof.
He's just got that hand, he's just regenerated.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, now I know what kind of man I am, I think he says that. I can't honestly. He makes a big deal about knowing what kind of man he is.
Not knowing what. Yeah.
It's kind of weird, honestly. Don't really know. I think they were just trying stuff. It's classic Doctor Who.
Well, now he knows what kind of man he is.
Yeah, one that can regenerate his hand because it's been 15 minutes or less than 15 hours, so he's still got plenty of regenerative cellular energy.
Now he's got a new hand. It's a fighting hand.
He genuinely drops the. Got myself a new hand, and this one's a fighting hand. Like he calls it a fighting.
Yeah, it's a fighting hand.
Imagine you're in a sword fight with me, and I'm like, hey, you're pretty good at this.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna switch to my fighting hand. Like, excuse me?
Like,
Sorry?
Shit.
Sorry? My fighting hand.
This person's been using their non-dominant hand to fight me, and I've been losing this whole time. They're about to switch hands.
I heard you say fighting just now, and that was not in your accent. Sir? Anyway, yeah, they pull a Princess Diaries, and the Doctor's like, this is my dominant hand, and he wins the fight. But it's just so like, I was so taken by, like, I'm watching the man in British pajamas with a British accent, basically just a British person, sword fight. He's in his PJs and he's winning a sword fight against these aliens for the fate of the world.
Yeah,
and that's
that's Doctor Who, baby.
We truly are a great British country.
I mean, you talked about the tea waking a Doctor up, but then when we actually got around to it, we didn't even mention it. But
I forgot.
The cup of tea woke the Doctor up. That's what it was.
He comes out and he's like, that was all I needed to get my regenerative self awoke. A good cup of tea.
I think it was like the one thing that Jackie didn't even list off in her massive list of shit that she was talking about earlier on. It was just like a nice cup of tea.
Some caffeine, sure.
A nice bloody cup of tea.
I just, okay. It's
what?
Anyway,
listen,
he wins the fight.
Listen, when you're sat at home and you're the writer of Doctor Who and you're thinking, okay, So, what was I
What do the
fantasizing
British
about?
public want to watch?
Oh, I think I was fantasizing about fighting aliens whilst I was in my dressing gown.
I want all of the
with a sword on an alien spaceship.
I want all of the adult men watching this to feel loved when they watch this other strong British man fight an alien and win in just their PJs and dressing. It's just so fucking it's so English. Oh my god, it's so like you can really tell who they're trying to appeal to in this show. It's really incredible. But yeah, the doctor's like,
and then,
swear on your race that you won't you'll leave and never come back. And the guy's like, I swear. And as they're walking away, Doctor pulls out an orange. He's like, oh wow, the guy who owns this dressing gown loves. They make some jokes about the guy
he really
snacks.
loves his snacks.
The reference from earlier. It's not like, but then the alien gets up and the Doctor throws the Satsuma at a button that opens the floor beneath the alien, and the alien falls from the sky. The Doctor's like, I'm not a forgiving man. I've only got one choice. Or whatever. No second chances. That's the kind of man I am. Okay. Right. Thanks. I didn't really need the clarification, but yeah.
Yeah. No, that's it. He's
Anyway.
a lucky man who doesn't give second chances. That's the new Doctor.
Yeah. They tell the
That's his
aliens
two
to fuck
traits.
off. The aliens fuck off. They'd beam back down to the surface. They're like, woo, we did it, yay!
Hooray!
And then the Prime Minister's aide is like, Torchwood is ready, ma'am. She's like, she looks really upset, but she's like, do it. Fire. And some giant fucking lasers appear
Yeah, it's like a Death Star laser as well.
in Death Star formation. They shoot at the ship as it's flying through space, and it explodes just like the Death Star. And the Doctor turns around and he's like, fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna leave. You were supposed to. I should have warned them. I should have said, run. The monsters are coming. They have a little, like, stare off, and he's like, I could end you in a word. She's like, yeah, sure you could. No, sorry. 6 words. Six words. She's like, sure. And then, they stare each other down. He goes over to the aide, and he looks back at her. He's like, don't you think she looks tired? And the guy's just like, huh. You get like a shot of the Prime Minister, who does have a very like wrinkly face, to be fair. She's got these like big old like eye bags. They're like it's like very like her eyes are very like, I think she doesn't actually look tired. I think just the shape of her face makes her eyes look like they're sort of.
That's what I look like in real life. I've got big eye bags under my eyes all
Oh yeah,
the
that's because I am tired all the time.
I'm just really tired. No.
Anyway, I honestly, that line genuinely killed me. I was like, God damn, destroyed in true British fashion.
Yeah.
Local British man destroys the Prime Minister with 6 words. Like, it's such a... God, this show really fucking loves sucking that British peen. It's so, like... It's so, like, BBC
Jesus.
just auto-fellatioing harder than I've ever seen. It's like...
My goodness.
Good lord.
Oh, gosh. Damn, hopefully I went hard on this podcast episode. Jesus Christ.
That's because it was that's what it was. That was the whole episode. It's really funny and entertaining, but I'm like, guys, I'm not going to stop pointing out how literally, like, this whole episode of Doctor Who is, like, just the BBC being like, look at, tea saves the day. British man in his pajamas saves the day. Local man destroys the Prime Minister with 6 words. Fucking air horns are firing. We cut to later in the episode. All the reporters are like, is it true you're thinking of retiring after this health scare? And she's like, no, I'm not tired. I've not had any kind of health scare. I don't understand where she's coming from. They're like, oh, is it true about the vote of no confidence? And she's like, oh, I'm not trying. It's just like, okay, all right, okay, BBC, I I hear you. Yeah, that's the episode basically. 58 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
It was a long episode.
It's very stupid, apart from that sort of 5-10 minute lull in the middle.
Yeah. For sure.
Honestly, I think I've said everything I really had to.
Yeah, I can't.
Say.
I'm trying to think of like. I think for me it was just like it was the funny like jokes and the funny like silly. I think it's just so like it doesn't take itself super seriously.
There's not much of
that's
substance.
What I love about it.
And the only bit of analysis I think I do have, which is the only bit of substance, is when the Prime Minister orders the spaceship to be blown up. The Doctor's like, "You're the monsters, the human race."
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right, everyone pause for just a second, because didn't the Doctor kind of seems a bit hypocritical? Because earlier,
Right, they were leaving.
just earlier in the episode, the Doctor gave a guy a second chance, and the guy turned on him.
Yeah.
And
so he killed him.
Right?
And then he gave the rest of their race a chance, told them to leave and never come back. They accepted and then left.
Except you can kind of understand the position that the Prime Minister is in, because just to elicit, the Doctor gave the guy a chance, the guy took the chance and still tried to kill him. And then the Doctor went, "Oh, I'll give the rest of them a chance. You know, this guy they've elected and their whole society, I'm sure it'll change. I'm sure that we can trust them. Let's let him go." Like, my guy, they came here and tried to enslave you, okay? That was kind of bad. Now you're just letting them go because you're a man of mercy. Except you already know that, like, their current leader who brought them here, you know, if he was still alive, he would have fucking brought back the Armada and they would have enslaved the fuck out of everyone, right? So I'm like, honestly, the show's like the one thing of substance where it's like, oh, humans can be terrible sometimes. I'm like, well, that's not really the point that you kind of haven't executed very well on that one, Doctor Who. It's not, because, I mean, you literally just showed that the aliens can't be trusted. And also they just showed up and tried to enslave, like, everyone. So, like, I honestly don't blame them for gunning those fuckers out the sky. And now you're gonna be mad about it, apparently?
Yeah, I'm gonna be mad. They were leaving. They turned their back and they left.
I'm sure they would have come back with
all executed.
With multiple times the ships
and children and non-combatants and other. I don't know why women, because women could have been combatants, but you know what I mean. I just did the classic thing.
This is like such a flawed way of thinking, though.
Doctor Who gets a weird and nonsensical at points. True.
So it's like, it's a fun show, and I really enjoy it. But when it tries to say anything of substance, I think it usually just sort of falls on its face. Like, it's really fun when they just engage in the nonsensical, like, hey, all of these people wear gas masks and it's really creepy. Like, when they engage on that, like, surface level, it's like a really fun setting. And also the British dick sucking is really funny because it's so, like, once you notice it's there, it's like, god damn, they really love stroking their own dick. This is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. This is very entertaining. And then it's like, time for a moral argument, and then it just fucking flops really hard.
I think it was fine. Listen, I think you're,
The Great British Dick Suck. Thank you. That's the only contribution I'm taking from chat.
what the heck? Listen, chat. The first step. Listen, okay. Since the Overlite has watched Doctor Who before, chat. The first episode of Tennant's Doctor Who. What do you think? What do you think about it?
Anyone here actually watched it?
Have you watched it? I know a couple of us watched it this morning. I watched it with a few folks.
Oh, was it on stream?
I watched it. I watched it on Discord because I didn't want to watch it on stream, obviously.
Oh, okay. Damn, you got up early.
I did not sleep very well.
Oh, fair enough. It's okay, but not great.
Okay, not great. What, the Christmas episode? The first Tennant episode? Okay, not great. It's a classic, though.
Should watch the better Doctor Who. Alright, I'm gonna throw hands.
No, hang
Everybody
on a second.
go. We should. If there's any series you're gonna watch, it's Tennant's because of the theme. The theme goes so hard, and oh my god. Yes, it sounds like that. I'm trying to imitate the sound. That's why I sound really.
I tried to do the.
It's got that beautiful old school low quality tinny noise to it. It's so beautiful.
Listen, Jodie's Doctor Who. I think if they had a better pacing person than Chibnall, if they had Chibnall to be an ideas man and put somebody else to sort of sit back and go, here's how we pace the stories properly, then I think they would have been pretty fucking good. But Christ, Chibnall's like pacing and shit, just terrible.
God, we're eventually gonna watch Jodie's episode, aren't we?
I can't even remember what Jodie's first episode was, so...
Yeah, I'm actually mega hyped for,
we can rant
how have I
about
forgotten his name? Raggedy Man, baby! Doesn't he have a really good first episode?
Yeah, I like Matt Smith's first episode.
Oh, the Raggedy... Matt Smith's Doctor does such a good job of, like, storylines, I feel like. Matt Smith's story, like, the Matt Smith's Doctor is so much... Maybe it's just because that was... I thought Tennant would be my beloved, and then I begrudgingly watched Matt Smith, and at the end of it, I begrudgingly think he might be my favorite. Hang on, what's Smith's first episode?
It's the one where the TARDIS crashes into Amy's garden.
Yeah!
When she's a child.
Oh, don't they peel back the wallpaper?
And there's a big crack in her wall.
Yeah! Oh... But he's so like, oh, it's such good vibes. I don't know, the fucking chemistry between Matt Smith, Karen Gillan, and the other two is just so like. I know we don't get that in the first episode of Smith, and that is like much later. But goddamn, those four, just it's so entertaining. It's such good shit, such good shit. I'm a fan.
I think
fish fingers and custard. I mean,
the Pandorica opens much later on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
had some bangers. I think Matt Smith's probably one of my favorite eras as well.
Yeah,
real good.
I ended up not really watching Capaldi and not watching.
I think I've watched through Capaldi. I really enjoyed Capaldi's, but I think it's the one I have watched through the least. I was thinking about this. I was trying to remember. I was thinking about like how all the Doctors turn into each other, and like the sort of traits they sort of take on when they become the new Doctor, and like how they sort of like, because Eccleston's Doctor, he's like coming off the back of the war, and he's all like sort of moody and grumpy and angry and shit.
Yeah.
And then Tennant's Doctor starts off all like sort of
kind of aggro,
whimsical and everything, and then he gets very like, but has his very serious moments and everything. And then Matt Smith's Doctor's also is very similar, where he's like very sort of he's like super sort of like whimsical and silly, but then has like can just like lay down the like super serious Doctor moment times.
I feel like Matt Smith is the silliest.
Yeah,
Mickey's
yeah,
the
for
most
sure.
whimsical. Tennant's very stylish, I feel like. He's got so much like flair to how he acts. Like his presence is just like fucking so magnificent.
And yeah, and I was trying to remember how we went from Matt Smith to Capaldi's Doctor, and I just couldn't remember like
I didn't
the
really watch.
Clara,
Didn't really watch
the Clara story. I can't remember how it happened.
Tennant is the hero doctor. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's what they normally do is they introduce the next companion or the next doctor first, and then they change to that doctor. So, like, Clara came in at the end of Smith,
yeah,
and
Clara
then
was around-
continued with Capaldi.
Yeah, and then there was Bill. Bill was Capaldi's companion for a bit.
Yeah, and then ended up having the funniest fucking queer baiting with what's her face? Was it even queer baiting? I don't even know. I didn't really watch it. I just heard about it and it was really funny
what,
to hear
Bill?
about. Was it Bill or was it Oh no, it wasn't Bill. It was I didn't
No,
actually watch.
are you thinking of Yaz and
I'm thinking of
Jodie's
Yaz.
Doctor?
I'm thinking of Yaz.
No,
My
we're gonna rant
bad.
about that when we get to Jodie. I'm gonna rant about that. Don't worry.
Don't they literally tell each other they love each other?
It was they literally no. They told the other character. Both of them told the other character that they were in love with each other, and the other character was like, "Go and tell each other that you're in love with each other, you fucking morons." And they were basically like, and then they were like, they got nose to nose near enough to kiss. And then the next, like, and then we were like, okay, right. In the last 3 episodes, they're gonna kiss, or they're gonna like, something's gonna happen, and it's gonna be like, yay, they gay, and then they just completely backpedaled the shit out of it and just dropped it completely.
It's absolutely
like,
beautiful.
Mega cringe, and it's just like absolutely just the most dog shit BBC moment I've ever seen in my life.
Funniest fucking queer baiting of our time. Just incredible. I mean, obviously very, very sad and very terrible, but also like I'm so unsurprised. I think having like been exposed to all of the fucking transphobic behavior from the BBC, it just makes me laugh. I'm like, just like,
Bill.
What did you expect? You know,
Bill is very openly. Bill is a very openly lesbian character, but I think that's like I don't remember her character having basically any other characteristic.
Okay.
I feel like she came in and she's like, I'm a lesbian, and then she does some lesbian things, and then I think she talked about being a lesbian a few times, and then I
we
feel
do
like
get Madame
she was
Vastra.
kind of uninteresting, and then she sort of talks about being a lesbian a few times, and then
I would do things to Madame
died or
Vastra.
something.
Oh my god, Madame Vastra, my beloved. Oh, jeez. And Madame Vastra's wife. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's so... Oh... This... I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous of the lesbians. So I feel like we've gotten off topic, and we could probably just wrap the episode. But before we do, I just remembered talking about all these romances at the end of this episode. Rose and the Doctor are like talking, and the Doctor's like, "Well, I'm gonna go off," and they have this really awkward like. She's like, "Oh, weren't you asked me to come with you?" And he's like, "Oh, I didn't want to be, I didn't want to assume or whatever." And it's the most like heart eyes I've ever seen anyone look. Is fucking Rose looking at the Doctor at the end of that episode. Holy shit, she's like so.
Please ask me to come with you.
So smitten. It's unbelievable. And Mickey is standing right behind her.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm never going to win, am I? And I'm like, no, Mickey, what are you even doing here, Mickey? What are you doing with your life? Go fall in love with someone else. This is a mistake. Like, oh, sweet
You're
Mickey.
done.
she's taken. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, there are another. It's just a bunch of other quick. Like Clara's bi.
Yeah. Captain Jack Harness.
Jack is obviously gay or like queer as heck.
Bisexual
as heck.
magnet.
River apparently also queer. Jack is omni. Yeah.
Jack is omni. Jack just fucks anything that moves.
Jack does some
if it consent
big sexy time with one of the other guys in Torchwood.
Yeah. If it can consent, Captain Jack Harness will be giving or receiving. That's the one certainty in the Doctor Who universe. I miss him.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Well, I can't say, did you enjoy that? Because, we've watched Doctor Who before.
Well, it's just a nostalgia trip.
Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy Tennant Doctor Who? Would you watch more Tennant Doctor Who?
Just a massive nostalgia trip. And I probably would. I would.
Yeah?
I think, like, there's the Weeping Angels. Isn't that Tennant? Or is that Smith?
I think Tennant, the first Weeping Angels, was definitely a Tennant Doctor Who movie. It was the one where...
I watched it at some point. I just randomly watched it.
He left messages for people
on
like a tape or something,
so good.
Or video, and was like, the angels are gonna fucking get ya, or whatever. I can't.
It's a really good one.
I don't think I've ever rewatched that episode because it scared me so much as a kid, and I think I've never rewatched it again.
Yeah. Tennant Doctor Who has a bunch of bangers in. I've forgotten most of them, honestly. But isn't that the one with Are You My Money as well at some point?
That was the Eccleston
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would watch more, I think, if you asked me to. I probably wouldn't in my own time, but I think I did at some point just randomly decide to watch Blink, the Weeping Angels one, like a year ago. I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to watch Doctor Who. I want to watch that episode.
I think one of my favourite Weeping Angel ones is actually one of the Matt Smith Weeping Angel ones.
I think there are a couple really good Matt Smith ones, yeah. Because they keep coming back. Because
they do keep coming back.
Yeah. I know there's one with a giant Weeping Angel, and it's like, okay.
Oh no, it's not that one I'm thinking of.
A Mega Angel.
It's the one where it gets in your eyes, in your tears.
That one is horrifying. Holy crap. Anyway,
thank you for listening, everybody, to the View Screen podcast. So we'll be back next time for something else. I'll probably listen to some more watch some more Doctor Who in the future. Thank you all for being here, and if you watch live, thank you for being here as well. I hope you all had a lovely time, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
I've got to find out what kind of man I am.
What if are you going to be lucky, sweet? Oh wait, hang
on.
Sugar, spice, everything nice.
I figured it out.
Yeah?
And you helped me.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a man at all.
Oh my god.
Wait.